Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Foodie with Trudy. I'm your host Trudy. I'm here today with Aminu, Edosa, and Kachi. And given what happened over the previous weekend, we are compelled to talk about the running, and more specifically, want to talk about what is a bottle job. Is it a banter thing or is it a real thing? And we're also going to talk about the heroics and the miracle work as to what Xabi Alonso is doing in Bayer Leverkusen. And is the miracle of Bayer Leverkusen comparable, better, or worse than what happened in Leicester 2016 with in the Premier League? But I'll start today with Kachi, our resident Arsenal hater. What is a bottle job in your opinion? And have Arsenal and Liverpool bottled it already?
I'm always an optimist, right? So let me start in the case of Liverpool. Liverpool, in my opinion, has bottled it because they have the easiest running on paper. Arsenal would have died for the amount of games Liverpool has right now. Like Liverpool literally has to play a lot of teams that don't have anything to play for at this point, in my opinion. Right? Man City would die for Liverpool's running. That's how much Liverpool. I'm not the problem with Liverpool bottling is that these guys have created chances, but for some weird reason they don't know how to score anymore. They've done everything but score. And another thing that a lot of people didn't realize is they had Allison back that last game. Allison made some really good saves where that game could have ended 3-0, right? So for some weird reason, it looks like Man U has tied Liverpool's leg. They've tied the leg. Salah is basically unrecognizable. Literally, Salah is unrecognizable in my opinion. Since he came back from, I want to say since February, Salah has been unrecognizable. Jota, I can give him a break. He's just coming back from injury. Darwin Nunez, we all know my guy, he will miss 10 chances to score one. So I think to me, Liverpool, in my opinion, Liverpool are out of this race. If I want to be fair. Arsenal, I think Arsenal's problem is in this last game is why is Arteta taking off Odegaard? You are chasing the game. You need your best players on the pitch. Why are you bringing on Smith Rowe? Smith Rowe looks like this guy has been chasing an ice cream truck for the last 2 years. Why is Smith Rowe coming on for Odegaard? That's number one. Number two, why is Zinchenko on that pitch? Also, why do you have Kai Havertz playing in midfield? This guy has been your forward all this while, and then all of a sudden you want to go back to experimenting with all the experimentation you were doing before. Like since January, this shit has been working. You play your best team on the field. I know he's trying to say, "Oh, let's rest for Bayern." No, you play what is in front of you right now, here and now, right? Because in my opinion, if they win that game against Aston Villa, man, that gives them a lift for the Bayern game, right? Because now going into the Bayern game is like now you're going to start second guessing yourself, and then come the weekend you play Wolves, which is another bogey team that you don't want to face when things are getting
His internet
touchy.
is tripping, right? It's just me. Okay, it's back.
When things are getting touchy, right? So, um, yeah.
We're
So
losing
for
him,
me,
right? Well, he keeps coming back.
can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. What's wrong with your internet?
So, so for me,
Okay,
in
go
my
on.
opinion, the bigger bottle job is Liverpool right now. I won't brand Arsenal a bottle job just yet this season, just yet, because there's still more games to come, right? But to me, I would like to say this is Arsenal's best chance to beat Bayern. If they ever were going to get another chance, this is their best chance. So I'm still rooting for them. In my opinion, I'm still rooting for them to beat Bayern, and I'm still rooting for them to win the league because I picked them at the beginning of the season to win the league. So for me, I'm not quite ready to brand them a bottle job. Now, Liverpool, on the other hand, these guys have been shouting quadruple since January. These guys are the bigger bottle jobs, and they will end up with a Carabao Cup at the end of the season. That's what they used to say bye bye to club. So these guys are the bigger bottle jobs, those pagan Reds. And that's all I have to
I just
say
want to say, how
on
can
both
you start
Liverpool and
with?
Arsenal.
I just want to say, how can you start with your rhetoric with, you know me, I'm an optimist, but Liverpool they bottled it. You just can't. That doesn't even make any
Bro,
sense.
I'm a
You know
Man U
I'm
fan. I
also
will forever be
confident
harder
bottled
on Liverpool. I will
it.
forever be harder on Liverpool.
Dead. Um. Okay. What's your opinion on this?
Yeah, with regard to the current title running, like I still think that it's too early to call any of the teams, bottle jobs just yet. I think that, there will still be some twists and turns before the end of the season. I know people think City is going to win all their remaining games. I personally don't believe that. Um, but just in general, what I consider a bottle job is when the you have the league in your hands. Like it is in your hands. You don't have bigger fish to fry, nothing like that. And if you handle your own business, then you will win the league. Like no one else can stop you, like at
Yeah.
least your direct
You're the front runner. You're
competitors.
not dependent
Yeah,
on destinies in your hands. You're the front
yeah,
runner.
your own
You're not the
destiny is in
chaser.
your own hand, exactly. Like none of your competitors can stop you from winning the league. If you handle your own biz, you become champions. And I understand for sure that, the running for each team, like the level of difficulty of the running for each team is different. But we are so deep into the season now that these teams are who they are. They've already played everyone in the league at least once. So we already have an idea of, just how good each of these teams are. Um, Liverpool, I think they are the ones that have the biggest bottlers tag right now, but I'll also give them small grace in the sense that they dealt with a lot of injuries and they had to make do with a lot of youth players and makeshift players and all that stuff. But again, like Kachi said, when Klopp faced Ten Hag, he hasn't been the same since the FA Cup. They haven't been the same. So I think that was definitely a turning point in their season because those situations can deflate a team. Like Archie mentioned, they were talking about quadruple this, quadruple that. It's Klopp's farewell season, and now that season, his farewell tour is going down in flames. But losing that FA Cup, sort of took the wind out of them, because now it's like, okay, we've been shouting quadruple, should we start shouting treble? And and then next thing you know, they lose to Atalanta, or at least they get peppered by Atalanta at home, and it's looking most likely that they're going to crash out of Europa League as well. So for them to lose all the three remaining competitions that they're in is actually kind of hilarious. So if there's any team that's bottling right now, for sure, um, it is Liverpool. Having said that, each Liverpool, Arsenal, and City have all been in positions where they had their own destiny in their own hands, and they let it go. So it's just a matter of who is going to seize destiny and not blink towards the end of the season. Because I do think again, City isn't going to win all their remaining games. I mean, at the very least, Spurs has something for them. So there is room for the other teams to make up ground on City, but it's also up to them to handle what they are supposed to. If those other teams go on some sort of losing run, then we can look back at it, especially with Liverpool. We can look back and say, well, you had your destiny in your hands. You had like a 5 point lead or an 8 point lead on the chasing pack, and you let all of that go away, right? So I wouldn't call anyone a bottle job just yet, but we have to see how the rest of the season pans out. If everybody wins all their remaining games, then I just think, okay, City edged everyone else. But if some teams decide to drop points along the way, then I think they'll be. Um, I think, in my estimation, they will be worthy of the title of bottle jobs.
It's funny. There's some things you said I agree with you, and some things I don't agree with you. I think my definition of bottle job is when you're an overwhelming favorite in a particular situation and you let it slip. That's what my definition of bottle job. So, and when I have to, you have to put that part of in a particular situation. So if Leicester is playing Man City, obviously, where everybody expects Man City to win, but if Leicester is up 4-0 and they still lose, that's a bottle job, in my opinion. That's what I mean by in that particular situation. So I don't think coming into the season, I don't think anybody really saw Liverpool as much of a threat. Everybody just saw them like, it's going to be Arsenal City. Liverpool is going to try and do what they do. All of a sudden, they find themselves on top. And like you said, they have a lot of injuries. A lot of injuries, a lot of injuries. I genuinely believe that if they were not missing as much chances as they were missing during the games, we wouldn't be as hard on them as we are. Does that make sense? Like if they were losing games normally, we'll be like, yeah, nobody expects anything from Liverpool. This was City and Arsenal's season. But because of the amount of chances they're spurring, we're like, bro, you could have won these games. What are you guys doing, man? What are you guys actually doing?
That's why Klopp quits. He's tired of
He's tired of telling. Like, you guys could have won.
tired of all
What are
these
you guys
chances that they're
doing?
wasted.
What are you guys doing? I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember if Liverpool's, when you said 8 points ahead, was that this season? Was Liverpool 8 points ahead this season?
8 points ahead of Arsenal.
8 points ahead of Arsenal.
But I think they
Game week 24.
Where was Arsenal? Or where was City?
They,
How many games in hand did those
had
guys
games
have?
in hand, though.
Yeah.
I think City had some games in hand.
City had games in hand, but Arsenal was third. City was second.
Yeah.
Okay.
So technically not like 8 points.
Okay,
period,
when
but-
I think of
I need to come in. Wait,
Wait.
no. There's a reason why I need to come in. Notice
Okay.
what Aminu just said, rather.
Well,
Because City had games in hand, it wasn't really 8 points. You said because Liverpool were not expected to do anything this season, it's not really bottling. Last year, we had those two narratives for one club who also had injuries. And where was this grace?
but in your situation, that's why I said in that particular situation, nobody expected anything from you guys at the beginning of the season, but you became so good, it was in your hands. Does that make sense?
No,
There was
I understand
there was a point in the season where you had it. Even if you lost the 2 games to City, you would have still won. There was a point in the season before the draw
Again,
and the loss and all those things. Even if you lost to City twice, you could have
I
still
understand. I understand the words that are coming out of your mouth, but I'm saying, listen to what you said
won.
literally less than 2 minutes ago. You said nobody expected anything from Liverpool, and then you're doing event-based analysis that because they're missing so many because they are missing so many chances.
I've heard that
That's why
song before.
go on. They're missing lots of chances, but that's what happens in football games. Otherwise, we'll be seeing 10-0,
I mean,
15-0. Like, people shoot 30 times in a game. You should know this as a man. It's not, most of those shots don't go in. So, to me, you can't bottle if there is an overwhelming favorite in your division, which is City. Every single season for the rest of time, City will be the main favorites to win the league.
let me ask you a question. Wait, can I ask you a question? Let's
Yeah.
roll the years back to 2012
Okay.
with Ferguson's situation, Manny's situation. Do you remember our situation?
Which
We
one?
were 8 points ahead as well. We lost to Wigan. We lost to City. We drew with Everton. Then City caught up to us and beat us on goal difference.
On goal difference.
I think that's bottling. And I genuinely believe that's why Ferguson stayed the extra year to be like, you know what? I'm not going to mess up like that again. I'm going to win the next season.
Okay.
I think
so.
that's
How many games are there to go?
I don't remember. I don't remember what on City's side, but I remember we lost to Wigan. Victor Moses scored. We drew with Everton 3-3. Fellaini scored. We lost to City. Company scored. I just remember those are the little snippets I remember. And all of a sudden they
let me
came
put
back.
it this way. Apart from when City are involved, tell me any other time when you cannot lose and draw a game to win the league. It's not the thing. Nobody goes 12 games unbeaten, winning every single game at the end of the season. It's not normal. It's never been normal. So this whole important at the end, if you go back and check, before City, it wasn't a 10. You could lose the game here and there and still make it. So as long as City are there, you cannot legislate for, you have to time all your games so that all your wins come in the last 12 games of the season. That makes no sense. Because look, this year, Arsenal have lost less points than City and they're behind City. Like, let that sink in for a second. We've lost less points and are still behind them. That tells you there's something wrong. It's not bottling. Same thing for Liverpool. Liverpool can't bottle to City. If Liverpool win the league, Arsenal bottle to Liverpool. Okay, fine, whatever. If Arsenal win the league, you won't tell me Liverpool, but fine, I can listen. But if City are winning the league, I'm sorry, I'm not entertaining the conversation. It's a waste of time. Like we're behaving like we don't have sense. One team came, put all the financial things in place so that when the rules change, they will be compliant. And then we're saying, oh yeah, they're this fantastic sporting institution. No, they're cheating actively every single game they play. So yes, they can win a game. They have, like, see, Liverpool, like Everton just got washed by Chelsea. You can bet your life when Liverpool face Everton in 2 weeks, they are not going to see space for nada on that field. Meanwhile, we know Chelsea are shit. Why? Because there's rivalry. Who's Man City's rival? There's no pressure in any game they play. It's just come, watch you guys, or keep on moving. Like, there's no rivalry. So how are you competing with them? It's not level. It's not level. And we keep on having this conversation like, no, we can't see what's going on. Like, there's banter, and we can also just have a serious conversation for once sometimes. This team is actively cheating, and you cannot keep on making, and we're having chats this morning, all the excuses that you are making for Liverpool. Arsenal have had, there's been seasons where literally we're feuding kids to try and get somewhere. No mercy. It's Arsenal.
That's what Ten Hag is going through now.
But no, to bad team, nobody cares. Like, Man U are bad, and we don't talk about them. Like, okay, yeah, once in a while. But like, it's kind of like, oh yeah, they're bad. They spent £1 billion in the last like 5 years. Nobody says anything. No, but seriously, nobody says anything. Think about it. Just think about it. No one says anything.
Yeah.
Tottenham spent more than Arsenal this season, this summer. Nobody says anything about them.
They had injuries.
Oh, they're the ones that had injuries.
They had injuries.
Yeah.
All the cats that cut had injuries, man.
No, like let's be serious here, man. You can't bottle. If it's like saying if Leverkusen found a way to not win the league, I know we're going to talk about them. Like, if they found a way to not win the league against Bayern, they are bottling. They're not bottling. Dortmund does not bottle to Bayern. Overwhelming favorite. They've won 11 straight. What are you going to tell them?
Nah, you can't. Nah.
Bro,
once you're ahead and it's in your hands.
Nah.
Once you're ahead and it's in your hands, guy.
It is not in your hand if one draw means you're not winning.
So, Edos, answer me this. You're saying Dortmund did not bottle the league last season.
Did they lose that last game or they drew? They drew, no?
They drew, yeah.
If you cannot draw a game, one.
Draw a game. We are talking about the final game of the season, and that was that even a top 10.
Also, they were losing that game like 2-0, by the way. That's a comeback.
No,
Leverkusen
team.
Like,
was it a top 10 team that they drew to?
I don't even remember.
I don't know.
All I remember is they wore red and white. I don't know whether it was Cologne. They wore red and
last
white.
10 games, they've come back from like 2-0 almost like 7 or 8 times to win at the end.
That one is plot armor. We don't even know what's going on with those guys.
But that's my point. My point is that, like, at some point, you need to just realize that Arsenal won a season unbeaten. They had 11 draws because it was normal. You could draw a game.
12.
That Arsenal team will finish second this year if City win the rest of their games. Let's just think it. One team did not lose at all because they drew a few too many games. That makes no sense. Anyhow you want to split it.
But we've always said that Invincible team was kind of fugazi with all their draws, man.
But you still have to do it. You still have to find a way to go unbeaten, right? But I'm saying that even that team will finish second to City. When Borussia Dortmund, when Leverkusen are done with their season, let's calculate their point total. They'll be second to City.
But realistically, though, when you add a lot of draws, it gets to a point you're like, I'd rather have won a few and lost a few instead of all these draws.
Okay, cool.
Right?
How many defeats? How many draws? How many draws Arsenal had this year?
I don't know.
One draw. One draw, one loss.
You're looking
Just
at
calendar year.
Oh, okay.
Don't do
that's
calendar.
more
You're looking
difficult
at
to look.
season doesn't start in January.
Because no, I'll tell you why I said this year. Because in January we were behind them.
Mm.
We were behind them. So we now
Then they
drew
went to-
one game.
Then they went to
And-
Dubai and ate something. Then they started
We
winning
drew
everything.
one game and lost one game. And then you want to come and tell me we bottled to them. How? Nothing has changed. You just what day of the week did you look at the table? That's all that is changing.
But
to
nobody
me,
said Arsenal bottled
that's
the
why I said
league.
I'm
Please,
not
should
yet.
I leak the group chats? Let's like
Now,
what?
Opinion, last season,
What?
Arsenal bottled it. I stand by that opinion last season. This season, I'm not quite ready to give them the bottling tag yet. And I'll tell you why, because there's still the opportunity to. Liverpool are done out here. I'm sorry. Liverpool are what we thought they are. Darwin Núñez is a 1 chance every 10 chances striker. He's who we thought he is.
So no, honestly, guys,
Again.
I don't even know why you're thinking like.
Can I
Wait,
just say
before like Edosa was saying, City can win 12 games in a row. I don't know why you're thinking that they can't win 6 in a row. Like, this thing is over. It's over.
no?
This thing is over.
Okay, so wait. There's just one thing. The only thing that gives anybody hope that they will draw is that their owners are in front in Tottenham, and they've never scored a goal at the new stadium. So that's the only. If they go there and watch Tottenham, it's all over. Like, let's just forget. Kachi, yeah, we can't hear you.
Rodri.
Mitchell.
They've been heavily dependent on Rodri this season. They've
Nothing's
lost
happening to
they've
Rodri,
lost
guy.
or dropped games on that Rodri has not played yet.
Rodri is playing every single game for the rest of the season. If they have to go and cut someone's leg to put on his body so he can
You
play,
will see.
he
You
can
will see
be
Real
sure
Madrid.
that's going to
Real
happen.
Madrid will do them a Champions League special on Wednesday. You will see.
I
Champions
don't
League
know what to say
special.
about that one.
Where you see referees
But-
giving penalties, phantom penalties.
if
Florentino-
City wins all their games, then fair play to them. But like I mentioned before, if Arsenal wins all their games and City wins all their games, then that's not bottling. They just lost to a better team. But if Arsenal now goes on the rest of the season and starts drawing and losing games on the business end of the season when they had the title in their hands, then I'm sorry, that is bottling. If they stay with City up until the very end, then I
Wait,
can
where
understand that,
is the
okay,
title in their hand now, though?
It
What?
was before this weekend.
was before
this weekend. If you had won all your
the
games, you were good.
Una Emery special
This-
at the
this
Emirates.
weekend-
What are
Okay,
you
wait. So
talking
at the
about?
start,
Blame
wait,
it on
sorry.
Arteta.
How?
Weekend, I
For
blame it
putting
on
Havertz
Arteta.
in the
Team
middle.
in
Okay,
the
sorry,
top
go on.
7 have dropped 6 points to Emery. Why is Arsenal the only team in the top 7 that has dropped 6 points to Emery?
Okay, fine. But if you do the top 7 table, Arsenal are first. Like,
What?
based on games against each other. So what
Guys,
are
you
we
guys
saying here?
You are
You
not
guys are
only playing each other.
overcomplicating
and
City
playing
haven't
against-
won a game against a top 7 side this season. So what are we saying here?
You are
Man
making
U.
a, you
Well,
are
well,
making
they
a
beat us.
worse
They beat Man U.
argument.
They're not the top 7 team.
Are we 7th? Are we 8th?
I don't know,
Now?
man.
7 to
Well, when they beat you, but
Tell them what source.
You must not have a 7 when they beat you.
Seven.
No, so my point is we can decide to shorten the table everywhere you want to shorten it. But at the end of the day, if you pick the top 3, Arsenal have the most points against those top 3. If you pick the top 4, they have the same thing. If you pick the top 5, they have the same thing. All
So
they're
you are
doing Arsenal is
But
they
you are
lost
making my argument
too many
funny.
points.
Who has scored the most goals in the league?
Arsenal.
Who has the least goals in the league conceded?
Arsenal.
Okay, and if they had beaten Villa, why would you think that the league is not Arsenal's to lose when they have scored the most goals, they have conceded the least, they have the most points, and we are just 7 games left in the season? It's not like I
Because
see we're talking
even
about
if
week
they
20.
drew,
We're talking about
brother,
week
if they drew to Villa, City would have been first.
And that
So
is
if
fine.
you are not you're not listening to me. If you're not allowed to draw one game, it's not in your hands. Because you are going to draw one game unless you're City.
One game too,
Can I-
then
can
they
I
won't be
respond?
first now. What are you talking about? You're acting like
Can I
as if
respond?
drawing
You're
is
not
only
you're not
something
listening.
to Arsenal.
City have dropped points in only 6 games. Like in the last, like when you talk about like the last 10 games of the season, if you go back all the way to when Pep started, they've only dropped points, only 6 of them. Only 6.
What I'm saying, I don't know what everybody's talking about. That is not
Only
over.
6.
It's over.
If you draw
It's
one
over,
game,
bro.
if you draw one game, you're done. That's not competitive league.
But
Well, Farmers League now. We need to send apology to France and Germany. But the Farmers League now.
we are saying different things now. I am not
No, we are saying,
saying
I'm telling you
that
that you are wrong.
no, no,
Sorry.
no, no. I'm not saying that if you draw one game here or two games here and there, that you become a bottle job. I am saying that we've come to the business end of the season.
Mhm.
You've drawn one game, fine, but you are still there.
Let me ask you a
If you
question.
now if you now follow up this draw against Villa,
Can I
you
ask you a
now draw
question?
against a bottom
Let
feeders,
me
you now
ask
lose
you.
against bottom
Wait,
feeders, then
wait,
that
wait,
is like bottling to
wait.
me.
Wait, before I ask the
If
question,
as
is Chelsea a bottom feeder? Because they're playing Chelsea next.
if we
With
Chelsea
flip
are
all
a
on
bottom
them.
feeder.
if we flip if we flip
Look
the
at Chelsea.
order of the loss and wins, so let's say January, beginning of January, we lost to Emily, and then we go on the round of event, and now we're second. Has anything changed?
Yes,
Yes, because
What?
you didn't have it in
it
your
is
hand. You didn't have
different.
it in your hands.
You so
You know
yeah,
what? Do you know what
no,
we
But
mean?
you
for
are.
me,
If
That's
you
why I
got,
said
if you
it is
lost
because you
earlier,
can't handle the
you are.
pressure. You
You
can't
are
handle the
doing.
running. That is why it's
Yes,
bottling. Now
that's
you're
why they
making my
kept
a
on
point for
playing.
me.
Arsenal have been playing third. City play, Liverpool play, Arsenal play for the last 5 weeks. They win all their games. What do you mean by they can't? You said all of you said this team will not be here this season. They are here. What do you mean by they can't handle the pressure?
they
I
can't handle
understand.
the pressure when they're okay. Go on.
It's not about handling pressure. For me, your manager is pathologically stubborn. Arteta is pathologically stubborn. You go into
Wait,
your
you are
game
about to
with your
bring on Zinchenko and Smith Rowe
no.
against Bayern just last week. Who changed the game for us? Zinchenko and Jesus are dragging.
Okay, wait, babe. I'm
Who
saying,
started
bro.
though?
I'm saying, Zinchenko, Havertz was not playing in midfield before. Why not use the winning formula? The formula that has been working up until this point. This guy decided, oh, I'm gonna tinker with, I'm gonna be the
You know
tinker
he
man.
learns from the Tinker Man. This
Have the
is the
squad.
apprentice.
Pep has the squad to be the tinker man. Bro, you don't have the squad. Leave Odegaard on the pitch. Leave Odegaard on the pitch. And I'm sorry, what's his name?
Do
Smith
you
Rowe.
know what happened to
Sorry,
Odegaard
Smith
that they
Rowe.
took him off?
He's injured.
Don't
I'm
say
asking.
injury.
I don't know. You tell me. Like, do you know why they
It
took
was
him off?
tactical. I thought it was tactical because he
It
wasn't
wasn't.
limping.
He wasn't. It
Was he on a
wasn't.
yellow?
He's injured. I don't know if he's playing this week, but according to Ateta, he's injured.
That's actually a lie.
Don't worry
I tell you,
about
the way I tell you
it.
the lie. Do you know how many points on fantasy
He-
Arteta has cost me with all this injury nonsense?
He might be lying, and it really doesn't matter. You have a squad. What Odegaard wasn't working. Yeah, he was dribbling, but he was dribbling
Bro, what do you
backward.
mean he
We
wasn't
needed the
working? He
ball to
wasn't
go forward.
the one penetrating. If anything would have come good from that game for Arsenal, it would have come through Odegaard. That's my view. Number two, Smith Rowe. You are the last player, and the guy is running through on goal. I'm sorry. Foul this guy. Get a red card for Christ's sake. It's still 1-0 at that point. You take a free kick at that point, and there's a chance your team comes back in the game. This guy is running with Watkins, and he's like, he lets Watkins. But, bro, slide tackle him. Take him out.
Okay,
Manager,
so
even the Arsenal fan base would have celebrated you like, bro, yeah, you took one for the team. Bro, you are the last player. You're a forward. Guy out.
Me, I'm just happy
A
they
red
took out
card.
Ben White. For
so
my
much,
fantasy sake, I'm happy they took out Ben White because
so
he
much,
got his 6 points because it was a clean sheet when they
No,
took him
but
out.
see, in
so
my
much
opinion,
event-based this thing. In my own opinion,
it's not about event
but
based. It's not
continue.
about event based. Any other manager will want. Like, I'm sorry, what is Smith Rowe doing here? If you cannot over muscle, what's his name? Watkins, take him out. The game is
It
still
was from
1-0
a
at
corner,
that
right?
point.
It was
Yeah,
from a
it was from
corner.
a corner.
It was a counter attack
Yeah,
from corner.
attack, you're running back, bro.
The
Take him
guy
out.
barely plays. He doesn't want Arteta to have an excuse not to.
He's not gonna play you anyways for the next 3 games. So what are you now doing? That's out.
Look,
Anyway,
we can make this.
before we go talk about Leverkusen and Leicester, as Kachi said, and I'm going to combine what Kachi and Aminu said. As Kachi said, I believe, based on my definition of bottling, I believe you bottled last season just because of the opponents that made you draw points in Southampton, West Ham, and Liverpool that you were beating comfortably. That's why I feel like you bottled last season. And with what Aminu said about handling the pressure, every time that it seems to be in your hands, that's when you start stumbling. When you're the chasers, you're chasing without remorse. When you're ahead, you start stumbling. I kind of understand when I'm talking about from
let
that
me
point
ask
of
you a
view.
question.
Yeah.
What did Emery put on the field against City last week?
They were injured. Bro, they were injured that time.
They were not, all those players played in the
They were
midweek.
healthy this time.
They were not injured, bro. They were not injured. The
It was
same
a
way.
midweek. They were
This
injured.
conspiracy theory.
No,
So
it's not conspiracy theory. It's not conspiracy theory. The same way I know that if at the end of the season, that Everton game, all Arsenal have to do is win Everton to win the league against Liverpool. Everton are putting under 16 boys on that field, guaranteed. It's not about ball is petty. Emery doesn't want to lose to Arteta, and that's fine. That's all well and good. That's his prerogative.
Using your own analogy,
Yeah.
if on the last day Everton Arsenal needs a win against Everton, and a win for Arsenal will mean Everton gets relegated, are they still putting under 16 in that game?
If it means Liverpool win the league,
for a UCL sport,
if it means
Arsenal.
Liverpool is winning the league, Everton is throwing themselves straight into relegation. I promise you that, because that's exactly what Arsenal will do. That's exactly what Arsenal will get relegated and let Tottenham win the league.
No team will do that.
Can I
This
respond?
guy, you don't understand. You
Can
don't
I
understand
respond to the
EPL things, bro.
respond to the Emirates thing? I agree, football
Yes.
is petty, but it's just like the way I look at it is Martinez and Emery, they are playing the X. When you're playing your X, right? You want to prove. Can't you see Cole Palmer? When Cole Palmer is playing Man City, my guy is balling like he's crazy. When Ryan Sterling can play shit.
Him and Sterling.
When
Sterling is against Man City.
Man City. Bro, these guys are getting extra massage. They are ready to die on the field. When players are playing, especially their ex teams that they believe did them wrong, bro, they are playing with the motivation that I want to kill this guy and kill everybody on the field.
See Alanga when we played Nottingham Forest. I'm like, bro, is this the Alanga we sold?
And you know the funny thing is, the following game they will not play rubbish. That's the same with. Don't be surprised Aston Villa loses their next game, because that's how it is in football. That's how it is in football. When you're playing, so to me, knowing that, and that's something Arteta should have known. You go into like they say in boxing, you die on your shield. You go out knowing that you're giving it all with your best team. You don't gotta be tinkering. What are you tinkering with?
What is it? Wait, is this not the same Havertz in midfield and Zinchenko at left back that they used to get?
Havertz wasn't
Havertz has been your forward since January.
No, before January, before Jesus got injured, wasn't this how they were playing?
Well, he wasn't as good as this.
But then you were dropping points, and then you guys moved him. You guys went to Dubai, and then moved him to forward. And bro,
because someone got injured. That's the reason why Havertz was playing striker.
To me, Jesus should not have come back in that team straight away. That's my opinion. That's my personal opinion.
And he didn't. You have Champions League game, they rotated. If you can't rotate, I don't know what we're talking about here. You people say, oh, Arsenal are stacked. They rotate to use the start net, it's a problem. They don't rotate to use the start, it's a problem. You have to pick a side. You have to pick a side.
I've always told you my side. I don't like Smith Rowe as a player. To me, I don't think he's disciplined enough.
Okay, and that's fine. I'm happy for you, but
his own song.
What?
Not Goat Smith Rowe that has his own song. Oh, I didn't forget. Saka, let me Smith Rowe. You guys have forgotten now. He's a bomb now. When you were singing,
Smith Rowe is not a bomb. I don't think it's a bomb. I don't think Smith Rowe is a bomb.
Okay, so then
Smith Rowe has been injured for 2 years, and they're bringing him back slowly. If he did not slide tackle someone at the back because he doesn't want to get a red card, I mean, I don't think that's the best decision in that position. But what am I to do? I'm not the one on the field. If I was there, would I even be near the guy in the first place?
I was like, I can slap his head. God knows.
See, there's one thing. Watkins is one of the only strikers I've seen in Prem that taking Saliba for a run, and Saliba couldn't do anything. I'm not sure what you expected DSR to do against Watkins.
Scissors kick and
I can show you videos.
Hug him,
bro. If Saliba can't touch you,
you saw what
Emusito isn't doing anything.
You saw what Chiellini did. You saw what Chiellini did to Saka, right? In the Euros. That's what he should have done. Pull the shirts. Like this one just shameless pulling the shirts, man. I'm not even running with you. Just come back here, kind of thing.
I don't know what to tell you, man.
Give him a guy hug from the back and let it, like at that point. And then as you do it, you just start walking off. You tell the ref, it's okay, I know. That's it.
You know that kind of thing that you give the guy bear hug and slam him, you start pulling your own shirt, and
Exactly.
you
Yo,
know,
but I
even,
don't think you
you don't even
can.
look back at the ref, nothing. You just pull your shirt, just straight out. It's when
Yo,
you
I
get to the
Adosa,
touchline, you now turn just to
You
make
put
sure.
mm,
Roy
And
King,
then
you put Patrick Vieira in that situation. They are taking his ass out. They are taking him out.
and guess
Even
what those
Henry.
people have in common?
Oh, just don't even
Only
call those
ain't
guys.
taking
Don't even call
anybody
those that.
out.
Only did that. Only did that. He took someone out and got
The
a red
fans were
card.
clapping
Only
for him.
that what this did that. Yeah, they were clapping for him as he was going out. Only did that. That's what you do.
Fine.
Anyway,
Smith Rowe didn't do it. Can we move on? I don't know what you
that's
want
yeah.
from me here,
We
man. Not like
want
we can
better.
even.
We want stop Man City. That's what we want. We had hope. Stop Man
See,
City.
again,
I want them to
your
stop.
club is able to do this, but isn't doing
We were not
anything.
able
Like,
to do anything, bruh.
yeah,
We
man,
were not able to do anything. This is what
I
Bournemouth
think
did against us. Who are we playing in
for
the
next
FA
season,
Cup?
when
Come,
Southgate is in charge.
hey, hey, Jesus, please. The
Mm.
stuff of nightmares. Don't even give me that. All right, let's round up the episode with quick debate and your opinion on which one is a more of a bigger miracle? The Leicester winning the Premier League or Bayer Leverkusen winning the Bundesliga? I mean,
I don't think this one is much of a debate. I think it's obviously Leicester, just because it's not just a matter of where they were in the table the previous season. It's more about their football heritage. Leverkusen, even though in recent seasons they were struggling, they are still one of Germany's um, powerhouses. It's like clubs last season at Dortmund when they were battling relegation. Like you're not going to say if Dortmund won the league the very next season that, oh, that is an amazing achievement, comparing it to Leicester. And Leicester had no European games. They were solely focused on the Premier League. I think they threw all the other all the other cup competitions as well. Whereas Leverkusen has taken every single game very seriously, and remarkably, they haven't lost a game in the entire season. If they keep it up to the end of the season, we are definitely going to have a more interesting debate about the Leverkusen Invincibles versus the other, draw merchants
fish invisible.
in North London that were invincible as well. So I definitely think the Leicester achievement was definitely more impressive and magical. Like it was just that season where everything had to fall in place for them to be able to to win it. Like all the big teams were bad that season. Many teams were transitioning to new coaches and all that, and they were just consistent. Um, so for sure, for me, Leicester was a bigger achievement than what Leverkusen did. Not
Just
to
from
mention the quality of the players. I know
Kante,
Kante, they had
Mares, and
Mahrez,
Vardy.
so some quality players that they ended up selling and that went on to do really well as well.
Important.
Vardy at the time was red hot as well. So they had some quality players here and there, but for the most part, I think the Leverkusen team, especially with competing on various fronts with all the cups, they're definitely more impressive and a better squad in general. So, um, big ups to Leicester, something that I doubt we'll ever see again.
That is it.
I don't know. I actually have no idea because Leverkusen is impressive because Bayern actually haven't dropped their level. Like if you go look at their stats, they're still like they would be close to them. But somehow, you know,
They just signed Kane, that's
Bayern,
all.
the other Bayern has found a way to to shake off the never losing tag. I, yeah, I mean now they're never losing. Let's get what they call
They're
them.
never losing. Before they were never cousin. Now they're never losing. Wow.
Never losing. Okay, so yeah, but I think Leicester is impressive because they it's funny because I use Leicester as kind of a compass, like it's a bunch of players that nobody really understood the level that they had. at the time. They ever just thought, oh, it was a fluke. But if they had kept that team together, they would have probably won the league again somehow. Because they genuinely had some of the best players in their positions in some places. They just needed to sprinkle in a little bit more. But yeah. So I don't have an answer for you.
I think my answer is based on what this Leverkusen team does at the end of the season. If they're able to capture the two other, they'll definitely capture the DFB Cup because they're playing a second division side. I'll be very surprised if they lose that one. But if they win Europa as well, then I'm like, all right, they won a treble though. Like you can't hit on a treble. Kachi, is it frozen? He's incredibly still. If he's not frozen,
Can you guys
I
hear
think
me?
it's frozen. Yeah, it's frozen. It's frozen.
By the way, you can hit on the treble. We're hitting on City's treble. Come on now.
Or Liverpool's treble?
Liverpool's treble.
I hate on City's trouble so much. I saw the documentary on Netflix. I can't even watch it.
It's,
I hate City so much.
but you guys don't. You
much,
guys
man.
don't spend anywhere as
So
much energy
much.
talking about City as you're talking
Leverkusen
about
doesn't
Arsenal.
have 115 charges against them last I checked, so I
Yeah,
don't
so you
think there's
can
any
like that. You
comparison.
can like their trouble. Like City are just, I don't know, man. Like there's no life in that club. Like you think with Pep there'll be some spices, but no, it's just like,
Oh, you're back. What's your opinion on this? When did we lose you? Doesn't matter. What's your opinion on this?
Sorry. So my opinion will always be. So let me caveat it. My opinion is Leicester is more impressive. That's hands down. I'll tell you why. But let me start with Leverkusen. I think for me, Leverkusen has shown, in terms of the players that these guys who used to win the league, right? Xabi Alonso, 9 players he already met at the club. So my guy only made like a few. His most signature signing is Xabi Alonso. Is Xhaka from Arsenal for 20 million. So for me, that's impressive in the sense that all these coaches like Ten Hag and all these coaches that shout, "I want my own players, I want my own players,"
Careful.
and you sign
Careful.
your own players. You sign your own players, and you cannot even coach your own players. To me, that's a slap in their own face because it's like, but this guy met these 9 players and he has used them to win the league, like Boniface, Grimaldo, is it Fitz or I don't know how to pronounce his name. All these other guys.
Ritz. Yeah.
So for me, even if
those are some of the best young talents in Germany, though. Like it's not like he
Not necessarily, because that Grimaldo is like his
was injured like last year.
No, even apart from the fact that he was injured last year, Spain never looked at him. He's a left back right now. Spain called him up. They never looked at him.
Spain
they never looked at him. Yeah, and Boniface never hit double digits for Belgium.
Never even called up for Nigeria. That tells
if you go look at like their pedigree scouting wise, like these are some of the best players in their league anyways. So
Germany is a farmers league, so
again, we need to write those guys a letter because
so for me, my own is that you can see Xabi Alonso's coaching. You can see that the guy has spent time on training ground with these players and what they are doing. And to me, it's excellent. To me, Thomas Tuchel, the guy is a bomb. I'm sorry. You sign Harry Kane and you cannot win the league. That's
It's because of Dyer. It's because of Dyer, bro. Ever since he signed Dyer, I just see them chopping goals.
It's because of Harry Kane. You cannot sign an institution and then expect to
I don't blame Harry Kane.
History of the institution.
The coding override.
Straight to the DNA. Proof of the creator.
I will say this. I'm very interested to see what Leverkusen will do next season when since Xavi is staying and they're going to be in the UCL. No, we're saying all these things about the young talent they have and yada yada yada. We'll see just how good they are next season.
Picked off.
Let me tell you why. I will sell the entire club.
So we'll see.
I don't think
Boniface
so.
to Bayern Munich.
Nah.
They
They can't do that. Bayern has Musiala and Muller in that position. They're not buying Wits.
Muller is like 60 years old.
Muller is retiring, I beg.
No, that guy has never got to retire. That guy has been 30 since Man U wanted him with Van Gaal, bro. He has been 30 since that. I don't know how he's still there. He has just been 30 since then.
30 plus what? We don't know, but 30 plus.
Still there. What's your prediction for what they're going to do next season? Are they going to make a dent in the Champions League? What do you guys think? Let's wrap this up.
Yes. I mean, they're not going to win the Champions League, but they're going to send a couple of. They're going to beat Man U with Man U in the Champions League.
Man, you won't be in the
They'll
Champions
definitely
League.
beat Arsenal.
I actually don't see it. I don't see it. They won't beat Arsenal, in my opinion. The way they play lends to Arsenal being able to play football too. So it's when people choose to not play us that we have problem. But
Did you see their game against West Ham? I didn't watch it, but the highlights alone. Let me just say, I don't even know the color of Leverkusen's keeper's jersey.
but West Ham are bad.
This guys, they just said what was camping at 18. We were going for a 0-0 today.
But
Anyway,
West Ham are bad though. Like we package West
But
Ham
West
like
Ham almost pulled it off. They scored their 2 goals like in the 80th in the 80th minute. So, but it was
West
definitely
Ham
a
are the
siege on like the
West
West
Ham
in
are
the
the
West
new
Ham
West Ham
half.
are
It
the
was
new
just
Atletico
wave after
Madrid.
wave.
West Ham are the new
Moist
Atletico
special.
Madrid. They are the
they're,
anti.
they're
They are
they're
the
not
anti-football.
anywhere else. I
They are the
mean, you could argue
anti-football.
that Moyes was before Simeone, so Simeone was is the new Moyes. But yeah, no, I think they'll do well, sure. Like they're a good team and they can easily replace players because they can just go do what Bayern do to other teams and get great talent in other teams. So
I'll be
they don't
happy
have
for them if
problem.
they do them because it proves that Javi is a good coach. Because realistically,
It does. It doesn't.
he's
This
such a
season
No
good
already
need to
proves
go
coach.
he's a
to
good coach.
Liverpool, man.
He's such a good coach, and they're such a system team. If you ask me to take any player from there, I genuinely would be afraid because I don't know if this player would do well any other place. Does that make sense?
True. I
You
see what
have
you mean. I
they
see what
won't
you
do
mean.
well in Man U, but then who does well in Man U?
You see what I mean? You
But
see what I mean, Kaji? Like I'm like,
Mbappe will not
Frimpong. This
come
one,
into Man
Frimpong
U.
is doing all this thing. Nobody's doing well
No,
in Man U.
but I really wish he went to Liverpool and destroyed his career. And the reason why is it is easier to coach young players, young, hungry players that, let's face it, the expectation of the season were different. Like now, the excitement in that team is like through the roof. Like everybody, they've won the league and they can go unbeaten because everybody is doing what they're supposed to do,
The
playing their
buy-in is
roles.
there. The buy-in is there.
When you now start coaching millionaires that don't want to track back, that don't
Mm-hmm.
want to break a sweat, that they want glory for themselves, it becomes a
The
different
difference.
game.
Mm-hmm.
Like now,
No, but
Leverkusen, who is their top scorer?
Boniface,
It can't be Boniface.
Boniface.
The
I
guy was
think it's
I
injured
think it's
Boniface.
because
Boniface.
he was injured since January. He just came back. It can't be
I think
Boniface.
it's Boniface. I think it's Boniface or Vitz.
Seriously?
Vitz or Boniface. Yeah.
If it's Boniface, that's
It's
genuinely
not. It's not.
impressive.
It's
Boniface,
Florian.
17 goals.
Because he was injured since January.
No,
He
it's
literally just came
Florian.
back.
Yeah, we're talking
They
about
spread the
Germany,
goals.
bro. Come on
They
now.
spread
The
the
spread.
No, I'm looking at it now. It's Florian and then Boniface. They have the
How
same
many does
number of
Florian
goals.
have?
11. Both of them have 11 goals, and then the next guy has 9, and all has 8, and all like how many?
They
Look at
spread
how
it.
many
They
goals,
spread it.
Jesus!
They spread
They
it.
have so many people
They
scoring,
spread
and the
it.
thing is, they are doing it by committee. When you now start coaching a big team with big players, you think Rashford cares about what your philosophy is? He's trying to get his numbers. He scored 30
He's
last
trying to
season.
feed
He
kids,
wants to
bro.
score 35 for his bonuses. Like he ain't trying to hear all these things. He'd rather go down with the ship than do what's right. And that would apply to
I don't think
every
that
team
is
with a big player.
I don't
True.
think that is true. The problem with Man U
Okay, we'll
specifically
see.
is that your coach is not able to command respect for whatever reason. I don't know what that reason is.
I
Might
don't
be
know.
language barrier, who knows?
I
Like,
don't
but
think. I think that
Xavi,
there's so much dysfunction within the dressing room. I genuinely believe Rashford was playing for his contract last season. Now that he's got it, I'm not listening to anybody. I've gotten my contract. I'm not listening to anybody. I'm cool because
I don't
it
think
doesn't
that's
make
true.
any sense. Last
It
season when Rashford was firing on all
Xavi is going to
cylinders,
meet Mbappe at Real Madrid.
yeah.
Don't worry.
Last season when Rashford was firing on all cylinders, Ten Hag benched him for being late. No be so. And he was such a good boy. When they interviewed him, say, yes, I messed up. I won't mess up again. He brought him in. Everything continued. Like nothing happened. But now, look at what's going on, man. This is...
No, but you are
we
forgetting
look
that
like we had command, right?
Man U's real problem started after that whole Sancho thing. Like, you guys are not that good to start with, but like once that Sancho thing happened, you can't throw your player under the bus like that and expect them to still listen to you.
And like I said,
And now he has
honestly,
done it to Garnacho again.
in my humble opinion, I don't think that Sancho thing was a big deal. To be honest, I don't think it's
It's
a big deal
not.
to say this guy didn't train well. I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think it's throwing someone
It's
on the bus.
not. It's
He didn't
how
train
you
well.
say
He didn't
it.
train well. What?
It's
He didn't train well.
it's
What is
how
that?
you say it.
He didn't
It's
train
how
well.
you say it, bro. It's how
Yeah,
you say it.
That's exactly how he said it. What did he say?
Trudy, you're forgetting what Sancho's initial reaction to what Ten Hag said was. He was like, he felt he was being scapegoated when there are other players that he knows he's training harder than and is performing better than in the team, and Ten Hag is not calling those players out. Same thing Garnacho just did. Ten Hag called him out for that game, and Garnacho is like, okay, but there are other players in this team that
No,
are not delivering, that are not putting in the
Ten Hag
work, and
didn't
you're
call
not
him
calling
out.
them out.
Ten Hag
Yes,
didn't
he
call him
did.
out. The
He
interviewer
did.
said, "How come Sancho didn't know?" They asked him about Sancho, and he answered the question. He didn't just
Okay,
randomly say, "Hey, by the way, Sancho." They say, "Hey, Sancho didn't travel with you guys. What happened? Oh, he didn't train well."
But you
What
don't. You
the hell,
don't.
man?
No, but you
It
don't
doesn't
say
hell?
that.
that way.
You
What'd you
don't.
say?
You don't have to answer the question that way, though. Like I don't even believe we're having this conversation. Like you don't.
Bruh.
You're a
And
manager.
so now you're saying the interviewer not ask him what the issue was with the draw against Bournemouth? Did he have to say, oh, it was Garnacho's fault?
No, but he literally specified Sancho. This interview with Garnacho, I don't know what's going on, but I know he liked something. But this one, he asked Sancho, "How come Sancho did not travel with the squad?" Oh, he didn't train well.
Sancho has an injury or personal
Oh, he didn't train
issue
well.
or like, but you can't.
He didn't just say he didn't train well. He made an emphasis that he didn't train up to the standards of what he expects from him, and therefore he cannot be in the team. And then Sancho is thinking to himself, well, I definitely trained harder than XYZ. Why are they in the team, and why is it that
The way
he
you see,
didn't
the
call
way you
them
see
out?
Sancho play, do
Yeah,
you actually think he trains? Bro, like I told you, ever since I saw Ward Prowse outrun this guy, I'm like, this guy's not a Premier League player. This guy, no, Ward Prowse outran him to
speed
get
is
the
not his
ball.
game. Just
Yeah,
because he's
okay.
not fast
Ever
doesn't
since
mean
I
he's
saw
not
that,
bad.
I'm like,
Speed
this
is
guy,
not his game.
go to
That's not a
Italy.
valid
Go to
point.
Italy and be shining like Pulisic and them. That's where you belong. If Ward Prowse is outrunning you, I beg. Please, all right, let's end this episode. We went off topic. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for listening. As always, continue to love and watch football. Support us on Instagram and YouTube. Let's see what happens this Champions League. By the time you watch this episode, hopefully Arsenal would have made it through. Hopefully City would have dropped out. And we'll go on to my dream final. If you watched last episode, and when they asked me my dream final, it was Atletico Arsenal. So we'll see what happens. All right. Thank you so much. Have a lovely rest of it.